Seems like you've had quite a past.
Enough to last several lifetimes.
You've got some serious binge reading to do before these films hit theaters. Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down every single book to movie adaptation for the rest of 2019. For this list, we're taking a look at all the movies coming out between September and December 2019 that are direct adaptations of popular books. We're excluding Cats because while it did technically stem from a collection of poems by T.S. Eliot, Tom Hooper's film is based on Andrew Lloyd Webber's stage musical.
Are you going to try for a different life?
A new day has begun.
It Chapter 2. Release date September 6th, 2019.
Something happens to you when you leave this town. The farther away, the hazier it all gets.
Like the 1990 miniseries, Andy Muschietti's theatrical version of Stephen King's novel was divided into two parts.
If it ever comes back, we'll come back to it.
We didn't stop it.
Pennywise.
Whereas Chapter 1 focused on the Losers Club in their youth, Chapter 2 picks up with them 27 years later for a final round against Pennywise.
For 27 years, I dreamt of you.
Early reactions have been polarizing, with some saying it doesn't quite reach the heights of the original. Critics generally seem to agree, though, that the film still delivers the thrills with an excellent ensemble, particularly Bill Hader.
This meeting of the Losers Club has officially begun.
The Goldfinch. Release date September 13th, 2019.
In Amsterdam, I dreamt I saw my mother again. Same beautiful pale blue eyes.
Although Donna Tartt's novel had its critics, The Goldfinch was a bestseller that won several awards, including the 2014 Pulitzer Prize for Fiction. And it was even named 2013's Best Book of the Year. So you can see why Amazon Studios signed on to co-produce the film adaptation in 2017.
When I lost her, I lost sight of any landmark that might have led me someplace happier.
Directed by John Crowley of the Best Picture-nominated Brooklyn, and carried by an all-star cast, The Goldfinch is a tale of childhood tragedy, sins of the past, and hope for redemption.
To lose something that should have been immortal.
Motherless Brooklyn. Release date November 1st, 2019.
Okay, listen. I got something wrong with me. That's the first thing to know.
I got threads in my head. I got threads in my head, man.
I twitch and shout a lot.
Author Jonathan Lethem made a name for himself with Motherless Brooklyn, winning the National Book Critics Circle Award for fiction.
Sorry.
Jeez, figured I asked.
20 years later, Lethem's breakthrough detective novel is being brought to the silver screen. Edward Norton writes, produces, directs, and stars as Lionel Esrog, a PI with Tourette's who sets out to find his mentor's murderer against the hard-boiled backdrop of 1950s New York. Norton compared his adaptation to Chinatown, which is sure to entice any fan of film noir. Dr. Sleep. Release date November 8th, 2019.
Here's Johnny.
The Shining is one of the most intriguing book-to-film adaptations ever. After nearly 4 decades, fans are still analyzing the changes director Stanley Kubrick made to Stephen King's novel. When King wrote a Shining sequel in 2013, we all wondered how it would translate to cinema.
When I was a kid, I bumped into these things.
Mike Flanagan aims to honor King's book and Kubrick's 1980 film, which is a tricky balancing act. If anyone can pull it off, though, it's the director behind The Haunting of Hill House.
I don't know about magic. I always called it The Shining.
The Good Liar. Release date November 15th, 2019.
Have you done this a lot? Met people on the computer service?
Over 20 years after Gods and Monsters, Ian McKellen and director Bill Condon re-team for this adaptation of Nicholas Searle's thrilling novel.
Which is why I must now confess to you a deception on my part. My name is in fact not Brian, it's Roy.
McKellen stars as the titular good liar, who cons his way into the life of a wealthy widow played by Helen Mirren.
Nearly £3 million.
You didn't take the lot?
You bloody bet I'm going to take it all.
At age 80, McKellen could become the oldest Best Actor nominee in Oscar history. If McKellen goes all the way, he'd also be the category's oldest winner. Keep a close eye on this one for sure.
I know things about you, who you really are. You don't want to do this, Roy.
Daniel Isn't Real. Release date, December 6, 2019. Before even turning 30, Brian DeLue exploded onto the literary scene with his psychological horror novel, In This Way I Was Saved. This film adaptation, entitled Daniel Isn't Real, received enthusiastic reviews when it premiered at South by Southwest last March. Patrick Schwarzenegger plays the eponymous Daniel, an imaginary friend who literally takes over a young college student's mind. Coming from the producers of Mandy, Daniel Isn't Real looks like another surreal, twisted, and beautifully shot descent into neon-lit insanity.
He's weak, he's lonely, and he's nothing without me.
The same producing team is bringing us Color Out of Space, an adaptation of an H.P. Lovecraft short story starring Nicolas Cage. A Million Little Pieces. Release date, December 6, 2019.
Vodka or whatever you have.
Sir, I'm sorry. I'm not allowed to give you any alcohol.
Says who?
The doctor that carried you onto the plane.
The only thing more absorbing than James Fry's best-selling novel is the controversy that ensued.
Truth is, I don't need to be here. I'm not like these other people.
We're all the same in here. We gotta look out for one another.
Marketed as a memoir upon hitting bookshelves, A Million Little Pieces turned out to be largely fictionalized. The Smoking Gun even called it A Million Little Lies. Given the book's shady history, we are not shocked that Sam Taylor Johnson's film adaptation was not well received at the Toronto International Film Festival in 2018. For those who've followed this story since Oprah's book club, however, the movie is bound to tickle your curiosity.
You got two choices. You can let it kill you, or you can let it go and move on. Make peace with yourself.
Little Women. Release date, December 25th, 2019.
I'm working on a novel. It is a story of my life and my sister's.
Make it short and spicy. And if the main character is a girl, make sure she's married by the end.
Louisa May Alcott's classic coming-of-age novel has been adapted so many times that you might be wondering why we need another.
My girls have a way of getting into mischief.
Well, so do I.
This is Meg, Amy, Beth, and Joe.
Well, when an Oscar-nominated talent like Greta Gerwig is helming the project, you immediately give it the green light. Gerwig has enlisted a phenomenal cast to portray the March family, including Saoirse Ronan, Emma Watson, Laura Dern, and Meryl Streep. Even if you are well-versed in the story, we're prepared to fall in love with Little Women all over again.
I believe we have some power over who we love. It isn't something that just happens to a person.
I think the poets might disagree.
Just Mercy. Release date, December 25th, 2019.
You know, my son ain't eaten since yesterday. It's been 18 hours since you brought him here. Can I go get him some food now?
You got about 5 minutes. Then I'm taking him to holding.
If you were fascinated by When They See Us, you are sure to make a connection with Just Mercy, another true story about a broken justice system. In his memoir, attorney Brian Stevenson recounted his experiences defending Walter McMillan, a wrongfully convicted African American.
So I want to talk about the power of identity.
Destin Daniel Cretton's film adaptation stars Michael B. Jordan as Stevenson and Jamie Foxx as McMillan.
Look, I want to talk about my job.
The position's been filled.
Look, Emmy, I really need this job.
Although its wide release is not until January 2020, the film's TIFF premiere date and Christmas limited release seem to spell Oscar contender.
Last shot right here. You sure you want to work on your birthday? Come on, I'm gonna come get you right now. Let's go celebrate.
The Personal History of David Copperfield. Premiere date, September 2019. Of all the literary characters Charles Dickens created, David Copperfield might have hit the closest to home.
I'm so glad, David. so very glad.
Dickens drew heavily from his own experiences while writing his 8th novel, which has been adapted to film and television on several occasions. The last theatrical version was released in 1935.
I'll take my chance with the boy. If he's all that you say he is, at least I can do as much for him then as you have done.
Although this story has been told time after time, the personal history of David Copperfield should be a unique interpretation with Dev Patel in the lead role and Armando Iannucci of Veep behind the camera.
That's great. See? They know how good you are.
I don't know about you guys, but I am excited. These all sound great. Now, before we get to our final book-to-movie adaptation, here are some honorable mentions, some of which haven't locked down their exact release or premiere dates yet. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. The Irishman. Premiere date, September 27, 2019.
Hey, my friend. I got that kid I was talking to you about here. I'm gonna put him on the phone and let you talk to him, okay?
I heard you paint houses was the first thing labor union leader Jimmy Hoffa said to hitman Frank the Irishman Sheeran.
I heard you paint houses.
No, please. No, please. Yes, I do, sir.
This marked the beginning of a friendship that would end in tragedy, as chronicled in Charles Brandt's riveting book. This film adaptation not only reunites director Martin Scorsese with Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci, but also marks his first collaboration with Al Pacino.
Whatever you need me to do, I'm available.
At the risk of sounding cliché, this is one offer that no movie lover can refuse.
You might be demonstrating a failure to show appreciation.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.